is a low interest loan. It's a 2-year program. And they do also have a little bit of grant money that sometimes they can kick in, as does rural development. Kind of the main difference between rural development and SRF, rural development allows for financing for 40 years opposed to 20 years. Both of them have, interest rates in the 2 to 3% range, something in that neighborhood. I can tell you, rural development's benchmarking grants, they allow grants up to a certain percentage based on your poverty level. But they kind of look at it like, what's your rate structure? And if your project, because you have rates, don't put this in paper, $100 a month, what they're going to try to do is grant you enough money to get it down to $60 or $65 a month. And that's just kind of the benchmark that they've used on projects in the past. I had a community in southern Indiana that was unsewered. It's got 800 customers. It was spread out over an incredibly large area. And they were granted, their rates would have been well over $100, $150 a month, and they were granted enough money to buy it down to $65 a month.
I think that's what happened down here.
Probably the situation was. So, those kind of things aren't a foregone conclusion either. We can talk with the folks at SRF and see what's available and see, what your project would qualify. Like I said, we've already kind of got some benchmarks on costs from some of the previous reports to look at it and go, okay, if we were needing, spend as much money as you want, but I'm sure you guys don't want to, keep costs down as much as you can. So, but at the end of the day, I think we want to do is prioritize what has to be done, and I think the state's going to be on you about the SSOs. We've got to deal with that. We've got to look at the plant. We've got some components that keep that plant. It's going to have to be refurbished, and then we've got some additional capacity we've got to add out there as well.
Well, I think looking at it from that direction is probably to everyone's advantage. The thought of having to demo the place and start from the ground up, would we like to do that ultimately? But if we can refurb and still meet the discharge and the overflow numbers that we need, and we know, like you said, we've got flow numbers.
Yeah.
And then in conjunction with the 3 different agencies that we can get funding from, I know from experience these people like to help, but they want to help you if you're trying to help yourself too.
Yeah.
So I think that the direction that you're looking at it, I think is a wise direction to look at it. We haven't made our mind up one way or the other. We're not experts. You guys are the experts.
Yeah, some companies have said it might not be cost effective you can do it, you can save some of what you have, but overall, they don't seem enthusiastic about that. So I don't know.
Like I say, we're not the experts. You guys are. We would definitely, as we move forward, I know you've name dropped a couple of towns that you guys have done some work with, but we would like some references. We would like to talk to some places that you've worked with in the past. This Hobstop.
Yeah.
Be really kind of curious to have a conversation with them, Doug, because it sounds like their issues are very similar.
Yeah.
The flow rates that you were referring to are really similar to ours, and that would be a definite advantage for us to have a conversation with them.
Just something that you had mentioned in a previous meeting about maybe extending out to 69. That might be a factor in what you guys are talking about too. I don't know whether that was in your PER or not, but
we discussed it briefly.
Yeah.
okay.
But we're looking at 2 issues, annexation and expansion, and this drainage problem has got to be dealt with, whether or not it could be folded into a wastewater to some extent, or whether it needs to be a totally separate utility. So it's just all kind of a package right now, and then we'll have to decide how we divide it out and what what could be handled under a project.
Exactly, and that's really where I see we are with things, it's a scoping discussion, what's the
Exactly.
best way to go about
Right.
handling this, it's a big elephant, to deal with.
And we'll just eat one leg at a time.
There you go.
There you go. Yeah, I'm with
There
you.
you go.
Well, we appreciate the time that you guys put into this. Obviously, the time that your partners put into it. But if you don't mind, you can just give them a quick overview, unless you were planning on staying at the meeting.
I mean, if you don't need me,
This was the key portion
my
of it. that-
signature.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
basically what we need to deal with tonight.
I'm gonna leave that, and
Thank you.
yeah, it's a pleasure to meet you, and we'll, like I said, our submittal, and I can send some, references early. I can send some references early if you guys will call. Hot tub would be easier, but like I said, they're very, very similar to what you guys face. So I can put you in touch with the operator and with the council president.
We definitely would like to. We're gonna be checking references, and as you said, I mean, if their situation is that similar to ours, that's golden to us.
Yeah, I thought they even got the same digester tank that you guys have. They
Really?
got an extended air system. just
Really?
like yours is.
What about the technology that our plant uses? Is it the latest? Is there things better?
It depends on what your effluent limits are going to be. There are some new effluent limits that are being imposed on some facilities that they didn't have before. Some more strict limits in phosphorus and ammonia, but we don't see that trickling down to your size of a plant yet. Those are really being targeted to facilities that are going to impaired streams. The Wabash River, for example, is an impaired stream. We work with New Harmony. They've got a phosphorus limit in their permit. They're going to have to do some improvements to their plant to meet that limit. I don't envision that necessarily being an issue here right at this point. The basic technology that you've got out there with the extended air tanks is fine. It's good technology. You've got an aerobic digester for your sludge. That's what we would expect. The thing that I'm more concerned about is the capacities. We know we've got some components. We know we've got some pumps and the screen's not working right. We know we've got some of those things that need to be replaced. Some just mechanical components that need to be replaced. The bigger question is, what capacity do we need to add?
That to me, that's the key thing, is the capacity.
We've had this infiltration problem, and I think it's been a number of years since there was any concerted effort to smoke test, or, I mean, we've not paid any attention at all to it, in my knowledge, for the last 15, 20 years. And that would not hurt at all.
It wouldn't, and it goes a long way to IDEM also, they're breathing down your neck about your problems that you can show, and if there's something you can do with your own resources, that's money well spent on your end, so.
And they are.
Unfortunately, we're on a first name basis with those
Yeah.
people.
Yeah. As I said, they are and they are.
Yeah.
So, we want to make every stride we can to help ourselves, as I indicated, because it goes a long way with the length of the rope
Yes.
that they extend, so.
Yes, that's absolutely true.
Well, Eric, unless, John, you have anything else,
If you do, call me anytime, my cell phone number's on there as well.
I appreciate that. And like I said, if Doug can give you a quick overview, take him down to the park, show him some of the orientation of the beginnings of it, and then down West Street, let them know, and show them that it does come up and affect Spring Street too. It comes to,
It's kind of a basin
yeah.
outside of
All
town.
everything goes into it.
Well,
Okay.
I made some notes here on any groundwater questions.
Groundwater questions about the flushing that you were doing?
No, we haven't. We were gonna start tonight. We had a fire last night. And anytime they open a hydrant, it stirs the iron up, and it's Southern Indiana hard water. That's what they like.
Another problem we have.
Yeah, wells, your water coming from wells, obviously not surface water. You got your own water plant?
Yeah, this is hard water. We treat with chloritis.
Okay.
Started that probably, I think they started about 6 years ago with the buildup
It's-
old